Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Jake, this is Nadia, this is Buddy, Sedona's down there, and Babu is downstairs. Today we are talking about Dungeons & Dragons, the new hit. I don't know, is it a hit? I feel like it's doing pretty well. People are watching it.
Yeah.
Someone compared it to Monty Python. Maybe that gave me way too high expectations because I was like, I don't know what drug they were on. This is nothing like Monty Python or anything. It's pretty good.
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. What did you like about it?
So I really liked the story arc. I really loved like the Bridgerton character coming in. I like Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. He was really funny. He always is. There's these group of strangers who become family and are in the journey together. Obviously, with any of that, there comes deceit and betrayal, which this is like it's very classic.
It reminds me of very old school, like just straight up fantasy stories.
Well, I think
like,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I honestly think part of why people were so pleased. Look, I think if you say this movie doesn't have any right to be this good, a lot of people I see are saying that about this movie. People are saying that about lots of stuff. Yes, it does. It does have the right. Any movie can be good. Don't just, because I feel like when you say that, it's like you're going, this type of movie shouldn't be this good. It's because our expectations have been so beaten down, especially by like big Hollywood stuff, Marvel right now. Our expectations are low. It's a good movie. It's not like it didn't have any right to be. Like they did a decent job with it. I just think that there's nothing remarkable about it.
People say that in the sense that they went beyond their expectation. I don't know if they literally mean that. I think they metaphorically mean that.
There's the connotation of like they're looking down on this genre or this type of movie and going like, well, for this movie it was good. For this type of movie.
I think that's the case, honestly, even when it's about books about these kind of things. I think fantasy that is more like an epic fantasy. The people think that way. I really thought the acting was superb because it was comedic. Honestly, this is a personal thing for me. That's why I said it was okay. Is that my attention span really ends.
It's too long.
Like after 1 hour, 45 minutes, I'm just like, I kind of space out. I need to take a couple bathroom breaks. And then I did kind of just want to stretch my back a little bit.
Well, yeah.
It's just, I'm like tired of watching long films. It makes sense to me why this was long in that way. But I also thought there were a couple of scenes that they could have sped up. All the scenes are necessary. But I think that there was a couple of them where you understood the point that they were making in a scene before that. So you could kind of like combine those scenes or...
I get that. I mean, it's a very formulaic in the sense that like it's just a heist story, basically. Like at the end, like there's the fantasy elements, but they're doing a heist. And once you realize that in the first act, like, okay, they have to go pull off this heist.
Yeah.
Then they have to get the crew, and with each crew member, there has to be some kind of hijink or whatever. There's got to be stuff going on. And then what happens is, and I think this is where I started losing interest in the second act of the movie, it started becoming, well, in order to get through the vault gate, we need to get this helmet. And in order to get the helmet, we need to talk to some dead guys. And in order to talk to some dead guys, we need to go to this town. And in order to, on and on. And so it becomes like, and it just becomes it's a quest.
The dead guys is the scene that I'm talking about, by the way, where I thought they could speed it up a little bit because by that time I was just like, okay, kind of.
I thought that scene was pretty funny and snappy.
It was funny, but it's such a long freaking film. But again, like I'm not like, my perspective might not make sense in general because I'm not a traditional Dungeons and Dragons fan.
And I would compare this to Mario in the sense that there were fun set pieces and it's a fun movie that I'd want to put on a Saturday afternoon while I'm doing other stuff,
Yeah.
Because there are cool action scenes, and like the stuff later on, there's portal stuff. But
I will say
at the end,
Chris Pratt's daughter, the actress who played it, not very good.
Really?
I didn't believe her at all.
Damn, you all were great except for that girl.
No. I don't mean it that way.
You suck.
Oh my God. I meant it as I did. she wasn't believable to me, but maybe it's just me.
I mean, I didn't mind. It didn't distract me or anything. I was constantly pulled out of the movie because it was very quippy. I don't know who was talking about this, but they were like, the reason why I think the quips in Dungeons and Dragons work compared to like Marvel movies is because it's more like part of the world and like fits in the tone. And I thought like, no, I really didn't see a difference. It felt very Marvel, like it in the sense of like, it felt very much like Avengers, like the first Avengers, where they're literally getting a crew to, stop some bad
I don't
guy.
know why you think that. I didn't think of it as Avengers at all. Like, I think you're kind of grouping it too closely together.
I thought it was, in tone, I thought it was very much just like a superhero movie in that sense, where they're trying to, the hitting the action set piece beats, the comedic beats. Didn't think it was very fun. Like, I personally just thought it wasn't that funny. I thought what I enjoyed out of it were the fantasy stuff. I liked the costumes. They had animatronics and stuff. I thought Hugh Grant was the best part of the movie.
So now that I think about it, maybe it's very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy in the sense that it starts out with selfish reason and it ends up being more of a save everyone type of film.
I have some issues with that at the end, yeah.
I would rate this film, oh man, you guys are going to hate me for this rating, but 7 out of 10. I really think I wouldn't think of it as 6 point something out of 10 or 6 out of 10. I wouldn't think of it larger than 7 out of 10. So there you go, 7 out of 10. Fuck you. Just kidding.
Well, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, closer to a 5 than a 7, because at multiple points in the movie, I was bored.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 because I do think it's a good storyline. I do understand the plot and the devices that they used. I don't agree with you about the Avengers all the way, although, like I said, I could see the Guardian Galaxy comparison, but I think it's a very loose comparison because it's a very typical script for this kind of genre, which I don't say in a degrading way. I think it's good. I just honestly, it was really long for me, and also I thought it was funny, but at some point with these types of film, it's like when you're going to Six Flags, you go to like 10 roller coaster. By the time you go to the 10th roller coaster, you're kind of numb. At some point, all the scenes ended up becoming just another action scene for me, not just another play to the larger plot. Nonetheless, I still can see, now thinking back at it, why it needed to be that long. And I also, although I wish it was more sped up like I stated, but I also see how it serves the fan, and also see how the humor really plays part to the greater scene. So that's why I give it a 7 out of 10.
Can we get into spoilers, please? Because I have a lot I want to say.
3, 2, 1.
Spoilers!
Go ahead.
Okay. A note that I think that could have helped make it a little more interesting. Chris Pratt's character was fine. His character arc is that he's like accepts that he should have been there for his daughter, and that like has to become a good guy. And I didn't believe that once, because I'm sorry, he's a good guy the whole way through the movie. Like, there's nothing, sure, he steals things in the beginning, but he's like a family guy. Like, he loves his daughter, he loves his wife. Hold on. He loves his daughter, he loves his wife. He gets separated from his daughter not because of something, like he was trying to resurrect his wife. I mean, it's just like there's nothing really selfish about him. And the daughter thinks he's selfish because the uncle's like poisoning her brain or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't really have a character arc. And at the end of the movie, when he is like, I'm going to bring the money to the people, doesn't feel very earned or surprising. Just kind of like, okay, like it was just fine.
Well, I think the selfishness kind of goes into he was doing things for himself without seeing the impact of it with his daughter, because he wanted his wife back so bad, but then he really gambled her future by going into this dangerous journey to get like the whatever the thing is that brings dead people back. So that's what I think it is that it's like people who do crime for more money even when they have enough because they want something more extravagant. But when you look at the kid itself, the kid really just wants to live a safe life with the kid's parent, and it's that. But I also thought it was funny when him and the surrogate mom was like, so we're abandoning her, after they realize that the uncle has poisoned her mind or whatever, and they go to the journey together. Like, so we're abandoning her, but for good reason. For the second time, I thought it was really funny. I also thought the beginning of this film was funny when, he actually gets pardoned, but he leaves too early for him to hear the verdict.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, there were definitely some good, funny bits. I liked the character who shapeshifts, and there's some cool action stuff along those lines.
So good.
Especially, my favorite sequence in the movie was when they finally started doing the heist. I felt like the middle of the movie was just like waiting, like, okay, can we get back to like the castle and do this? Like, it was just taking
That's
too
what
long.
I mean, yeah.
It's taking too long to get
off,
step to step. I thought the whole thing with the Bridgerton guy, he was fine in the movie. I liked seeing him, but I thought that was unnecessary. We could have shaved, 20 minutes.
I wonder if they're going to do a sequel about him.
My favorite sequence was with the portal stuff. I thought that was super fun. Like, I love...
Like the mirror portal?
Yeah. Like, I love exploring that kind of magic in and how it works with a heist. It's super fun. The hijinks of, the painting lands on the concrete and she has to turn into a worm to get through, and that was all good. But yeah, it just felt like it overstayed its welcome a little bit.
I don't know. It's a very typical, like, Riches film when, I liked how they used the portal to give everyone money. At some point, although I've only seen the first Hunger Game film and I haven't read the books, it kind of felt like Hunger Games-ish kind of movie when...
Because of the maze?
Because of the maze, yep. The ending was fine. It was also very forgettable for me. Everyone lives happily ever after, right? And that's it. So.
Yeah. Like, I just...
It was heartwarming to watch, but it's also, like, nothing, like... It's very typical.
But it felt very superhero-y in that the final part of the movie was them all fighting this, like, witch who's flying around, like Scarlet Witch, and they're all just doing
that was cool.
Battle. I hated the moment where they're sailing away, they have all the money. Like, these are people who are supposed to be, like, thieves, but they're all just so pure of heart, it gets kind of, like, annoying. Like, it's a trope.
I don't know if
I wanted there to be some more reason for him to turn the ship around and go into danger. I thought Chris Pratt's character was way too easy for him to be like, oh, we see these storm clouds over, the city's in trouble. Well, let's go back. I think there should have been more issue where, even just a tiny little bit of friction where he's like, I'm not bringing you back into danger. Like, I got you, you're safe. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what I care about. And she can be like, you are a bad dad, you need to help them or something.
No, I think that would have, I disagree 100%. That would have overplayed, like, you're a bad dad. That's basically the whole film. And he rescues her, and then he becomes a bad dad again after being a good dad. I think it would have made me like literally get a whiplash. I'm glad that they concluded that he was a good dad. I don't need to see Rachel and Ross breaking up again like 10 times. Like, no. I think it's fine the way it was, to be honest.
All right. Thank you so much for watching.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.